this session is going to be around Dynamics 365 for finance and operations. And I'm using an initial template or the PPT to just make you understand what are the different terminologies and maybe what are the different concepts that you'll have to go through initially before starting with the coding and other things. Okay, fine. So first thing would be like, okay, on to setup and configuration. Any application you take, you'll have to go ahead and download. You'll have to go ahead and set up, install it, basically. Okay. Even when you wanted to work with SQL Server, you will have to install the SQL Server Management Studio. So, and even the same with Oracle as well, right? Any program. So like even when you wanted to work with .NET, if you have worked in the past, so you'll have to install Visual Studio from the package, and you have to set up that you have to install in your own machine. But in case of Dynamics, Dynamics AX 2012, that is still the previous version, this setup was into picture. So you'll have to take a server machine, you'll have to manually install SQL Server and ERP tools. Like, okay, you have to install the client server and debugger, a lot of things. You have to do that. But when it comes to Dynamics 365 for operations, this installation things is, time has been cut down. So instead of that, Microsoft has provided a VM, virtual machine. So you can just download the virtual machine and you can start using it in your own boxes. So there are different ways for doing it. As like, okay, as I said, okay, download and doing is one of the option. The second option would be like you can just go back to Azure services, that is lifecycle services, where you can just go ahead and on a click of a button you can just host a cloud hosted machines. Okay, so cloud hosted machines are payable and chargeable from Azure. So in order to speak about this slide, so which gives you information about, okay, what is whole locally hosted and what is this RAM and other areas, I'll just walk you through, okay, different kinds of environments that are available in Dynamics, and what to use and when to use that. So let me start with the notepad. Okay. Can you please tell me, okay, so if you are working on Dynamics, okay, what are the different, if you're working in any application, what are the different environments you will just provision for your projects actually? Starting with the development environment.
Yeah, dev, UAT, prod.
Sandbox environment.
UAT or sandbox, right? UAT or sandbox, yeah.
And production environment.
Production. What else? These are the three?
Yeah, I mean, you can have multiple dev from different developers, and you can have, you know, SIT or gold for MDM data. You can have SIT for system integration testing.
Okay, you're speaking about SIT. And dev is for development, we can call it as, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Dev is for the development, and as you said, okay, there can be multiple dev environments, and we can just have one more environment, live, we call it as production also. Okay, these are the different environments we have. Perfect. Okay, fine. So let us take one by one. Okay, let us take with the dev environment. In dev, if we go, okay, each and every person will be assigned with a new dev machines. You are aware of it, right? Let's say that you are working on. So which software you are comfortable with? Are you comfortable with Java, .NET? What kind of softwares you are comfortable with?
Yeah, myself .NET.
.NET you're comfortable. Okay.
Yeah, MPL SQL.
Okay, fine. So when you speak about .NET, okay, you take a machine something like this, and you just go and install the Visual Studio into it, and one person will be developing, and other person also will be developing it, right? So how will you manage the codes? Maybe if I'm doing the development, so I may be having the recent codes, right? So how you go transfer the codes between different people?
Using application object.
Using
VSS, right?
Application object tree.
Using AOT you're saying, okay, but the other things I heard is like, okay, using VSTS, correct?
Yes.
In Visual Studio.
VSTS is also called as Visual Studio
Team Services.
Foundation services.
So that's
Recent
DevOps now,
terms,
right?
in recent terms, this is called as DevOps.
Yeah.
So both are same, but earlier it was called as Visual Studio Team Foundation Services, but now it is DevOps. Okay, fine. So what we will do is, let's say, okay, we have multiple developers that are coming right here. Okay, these are the multiple developers. Dev 1, Dev 2, and keeps going on. So these are the different developers that are there in the picture. Call this to be 1. So these are the developers, and this is going to be called as a DevOps. Okay. So what is the idea is that, okay, since we have a lot of developers that are into picture, so what the system will do is like it'll go and try to they will be doing their codes right here. For example, okay, he'll be modifying some customer records. He'll be adding one field, okay, and he will be adding some in sales, okay, and he wants to now modify the changes that has been done in the customer on top of it. So whatever the done on top of customer, whatever the developer one has done, he has to do it. So what the definite operation will does is each and every developer who stays here in this particular level, they will be having their own piece of codes actually. Okay, so where they will get the own piece of code is like, okay, they will just get it downloaded from the DevOps directory. So whenever like, okay, a new code is being formed, what will happen is, okay, this code will be transferred back actually. This code will be transferred back or it will be pushed back to DevOps side. So this is the in. These are called as get latest basically.
So the green one is with get latest from the
Yeah, green one is get latest, and blue one we can call it as check-in. Okay. So how the green one comes? Okay, the green one comes from this area. This is the direction, and the blue one goes into this direction. That's it. So the idea is like every developers will be having their own boxes. Even though they have their own boxes, what they will do, they will just when they are done with their changes, they will just check in their code back to DevOps. So the DevOps is called as a central repository. So it will have all the piece of codes here. So when a new developer comes in, what he will do, he'll just go ahead and simply he will just go ahead and download the code initially, and he will start making the changes. Okay, this is how it is. So now, if we are speaking about environments, okay, first we spoke about the development environment right here. So what do you think? What are the action can be taken in the development environments?
so we can customize according to our requirements.
Customization, then
Extensions.
yeah, customization and extensions. Yes, basically we can say it as development, right? We can do development.
Yep.
Apart from development,
Integrations.
okay. So any integration comes, you can just do there. Okay, fine. Any R&D work, if you wanted to check whether the code is working or not, you can do it here. Correct?
Yep.
Okay, fine. What you can do in SIT?
That's where we can test the whole system integrations between the systems.
Okay, testing. So whether the codes will be available here, it should be available here, no? Code is present. The actual code will be source code is present here. Correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you think in SIT, whether the source code is present or not present?
No idea, sir.
No idea. In few clients, okay, in few companies, they used to have the source code, but it is like, okay, better to have no source code environment. Say no source code environment, the code will be passed as DLLs. In .NET terms, we can call it as exe also, right? Executables, jar files, okay?
Yep.
These are the files. So, and what is going to be in the UAT?
UAT testing.
Testing. Why two testing?
So before going to production, we are doing all the testing in UAT, like any changes.
Okay. So who will be
Yeah,
using SIT and who will be
user-based testing, right? SIT is more like our developers, system integration, unit testing.
internal functional testing? And
Yeah.
this is like client testing, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Client testing or user-based testing. So what is production system?
Business users.
Mm. So do you think, okay, the source code is will be available in this environment, UAT? Is that
No,
required? Not
no,
required. So no source code environment. Of course, in live also it is no source code.
No
Correct.
source. Yep.
Okay. But when you speak about AX 2012, okay, AX 2012 had as an option to have source code in all the environments actually. Okay. So in that case, okay, if you worked on AX 2012 earlier, what people will do is like, okay, they will directly open the code here and they will directly type in the code and they will make it work. So due to that, what happened is there will not be any consistency between all the environments right here, because
yeah,
the hierarchy has to flow from here. First, it has to be development has to be done here, then it has to move to SIT, then to UAT, then to production. But people were like, okay, to fix the immediate problems, they were just doing the codes right here itself directly. So to avoid it, so now a new concept of packaging has come. So what we'll do, we'll just do a coding right here in the development environment, and like, okay, we'll just go ahead and generate the package. Okay. And now this generated package will be deployed here.
Yep.
Okay. So this deployment of the package is also called as no source code environment. This is how the no source code is come up. So this the deployable package is called as a DLLs basically. This is not a kind of executable or jars. Okay. So again, the same package applies here also. The same
So if
package
it's
applies
so
here
if
also.
it's a no source code, then it's DLL. It's called
Exactly.
DLL.
Exactly. Yeah. They are DLL
So
based.
no executables, no jar files, or you're saying?
Not required. So these are not there.
Okay.
What's the full form of DLL?
Dynamic linking libraries. So yeah. So uh, we create DLLs because our source code will not be exposed outside directly. So it will be clubbed together, okay, into a single file. So which can't be read by any direct outside person or whatever. So that our operation will be done. But thing is that this will be going in a secured format.
Yeah, okay, so
So that's why package means, okay, we'll just package it. So in package, we'll just use a format called zip format in Dynamics, okay, to pass it between the environments, okay. And so who will be the main users right here for this system? We can call this to be developers, senior devs, technical architect, and come on, it goes on. So who will be the person who will be using SIT?
functional consultants,
Functional consultants then.
developers as well.
Okay. So sometimes developers also will use it, but most probably we'll avoid them from using it, right? Okay, just for testing, they will just come in, and any testing team, they will just come and use it. So who will be using UAT?
Client,
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
mm,
Yeah, client side who? So who gives us the requirement, right? Maybe he can be a manager from their perspective,
Yep.
or he can be from account
Yep.
side. So lot
And
of other people.
all the department heads, all the department people.
Or maybe sometime our clerk also because
Development.
they just enter
Yes.
the value in the system. Yeah. So who uses the live? Live will be used by the actual end users.
Yes.